In this show, you can join in the action from home. Download the Poker Play Along app from your app provider.
London is really big. It feels like you're really playing with the heavyweights.
All the players are really good. Jake Cody and Kevin McPhee are accomplished pros.
Benny and Jake are never fun to have at your table. They're both very talented players.
This is such a tough field, but I have the advantage. I'm on home soil.
We're in London for the penultimate day of the PokerStars.com EPT. 675 runners paid £4,000 to enter this event, creating a prize pool of over 2.6 million. Now we're down to the final 16. They're all competing to make it to the final table and for a chance to win that top prize of nearly $500,000. Last time, Sebastian Pauli took the chip lead in the final hand of the day, busting Daniel Erlandson in 17th. Former champs Mickey Peterson and Liv Barry failed to advance to day 5. A confident online qualifier faced off against another EPT champ.
You can prepare the chips, Jake.
You're that confident?
But it was Jake Cody who boosted his monster stack to stay on track to win his second EPT trophy. Jake Cody first came to the attention of the poker world in January 2010 when he took down EPT Deauville.
6 months later, he wins a WPT title. Less than a year after that, a World Series bracelet. Boom, Triple Crown.
In 2013, he joined Team Pro, and at that year's EPT Grand Final, he was part of the greatest final table lineup of all time.
And now he's in position to make another final table and compete for his second EPT trophy.
Cody's one of 3 former champions remaining in the final 16, and he's not taking anything lightly.
To be honest, there's a lot of good players in the field. It's not going to be easy, but I'll be able to take advantage of the situation and chip up.
Joining him, a silent assassin, Benny Spindler, who won this event 3 years ago, and Kevin McPhee, who won his title in Berlin in Season 6.
My experience is probably an advantage because I've been there before. Hopefully their nerves crack.
But despite all their experience, they'll have to get through chip leader Sebastian Pauli, who's not going to be intimidated by anyone.
I can't sit there playing with guys like Jake Cody and be shaking all the time, so I have to concentrate and think that it's just a poker tournament like any other tournament.
So the last 2 tables playing down to the final table.
Not the most traditional looking poker player, but yeah, Kevin Killeen, he's the real deal. Jay Cody's here on time, and my guess is that since he's now got a baby, he's been here for about 3 hours.
Sebastian Pauli, the tournament chip leader, has a seat on the main stage.
So I'm the only qualifier here? You guys all rich?
No, Art Corin, they're not all rich. And guess what? Kevin McPhee also qualified online. So there.
Along with Jake Cody, he's a former EPT champ, as is this guy, Benny Spindler. But he's the short stack coming into play with fewer than 10 big blinds. So, at the secondary table, we've got 2 former EPT champions and the reigning UK IPT Dublin champ. Kevin McPhee, by the way, is the only non-European left in the tournament. Gino Gabriel is one of 3 Brits left, the other 2 being Jake Cody and Simon Dedman. They're at the main feature table, along with 3 Germans, including chip leader Sebastian Pauli. And still a chance of our first ever Spanish EPT winner, with Pablo Gordillo still alive. Lines are 10,000, 20,000, with a 3,000 ante.
And if you don't think that piece of hardware looks cool, just remember, that's a bracelet.
Jake Cody wearing a very pleasant cream jumper today.
Yum.
Action folded to Sorrentino.
Rafa folds. Tomorrow.
Looks like he's raising with ace-9.
Hey, Raffaele, where's Donatello, huh? Where's Donatello Michelangelo? Where's Splinter, huh?
Sebastian Pauli has King-Jack in the cutoff. He calls.
A worse hand, but tends to flop better than Ace-9.
Ace-9 of clubs for Simon Dedman. He calls as well, in position, on the button. Jan Pino in the small blind folds. Art Corrin in the big. Has pocket eights.
Seems like a spot for a just call from a dude who's cool. He looks like he would have watched Ninja Turtles as a kid, and possibly still now.
He calls as well. Four-way to the flop. And two players hit that flop hard. Trips for Pauli. Nut flush draw for Dedman. Corrin checks. No c-bet from Sorrentino. Pauli checks as well.
I think I like a bet there. Tons of hands can call. Flush draws pretty much any pair.
And Dedman checks behind. Turn card for free.
He also should have been betting, I think.
10 of spades. Pauli is now an 81% favorite. Still no bet from Sorrentino.
Maybe Pauli will start going for value now.
$194,000 in the middle. Pauli throws in 120K. So what is Simon Dedman going to do with his club draw?
He's in a weird spot now. His club draw may not even be live sometimes.
He's got 462K behind.
All in.
And he moves all in!
Not a bad move in general because he can rep a king. There's not supposed to be a lot of kings out there.
Corrin and Sorrentino are folded.
I call.
Pauli calls, putting Dedman at risk. Well, Simon Dedman has 6 outs. He needs a club that doesn't pair the board.
Oof. Used to have a 9 outs at least there.
Just a 16% chance of survival for Simon Dedman. The river is a club, but it pairs the board.
Good game.
Good game, man.
Good game, guys. Good luck, everyone.
Simon Dedman eliminated.
Just casually grabbing the stack, increasing the tower, the mountain.
Chip leader Sebastian Pauli rivers a full house, sending Simon Dedman to the rail in 16th place.
Dedman, more like no, wait, that's it.
Pauli now playing the better part of 3.5 million.
And apparently he's never recorded a 6-figure cash? Do you think he just doesn't know how to work his PVR?
Over at the second table, the two Kevins are going to the flop. It's Colleen versus McPhee.
Colleen's got more cheese than an all-you-can-eat appetizer promotion, but he does have the advantage of position.
Both players missed the flop. McPhee checks. And Colleen checks behind.
Doesn't continue, which is cool sometimes. When you get called on this board, you're usually in deep doo-doo.
Well, Colleen now has a flush draw. McPhee's still ahead with ace high. McPhee checks a second time. Delayed c-bet from Colleen, 40,000.
Semi-bluffing instead of plain old bluffing.
McPhee calls. The river card is an 8, so Colleen now with a pair.
Hey, showdown value, winner.
McPhee checks for a third time. And Colleen is going to bet 65,000.
Nice value bet.
Does it get called?
I think McPhee may get away from this. Colleen's got tons of pairs in his range and even some jacks. The only pure bluffs really are missed clubs, and even some of those made pairs.
McPhee has counted out the call.
Ooh, we haven't seen Cowboy face for a while.
But he folds. Colleen wins the pot.
Nice fold, Kevin. Nice hand, Kevin.
Colleen up to 1.9 million.
He's been killing it this entire tournament.
He's now 4th in chips behind Jake Cody, Raffaele Sorrentino, and Sebastian Pauli, who's got a 171 big blind stack. Meanwhile, Benny Spindler is in the danger zone.
Danger zone!
Action at the feature table. Folded around to Art Corrin, who has ace-10 of clubs.
Raise. Wait, aren't we calling him Art Corrin Mitchell now?
He makes it 45,000 from the hijack. Pocket fours for Jonas Lauch.
They're both super deep, so if Lauch wants, he can totally go set miming. I'm set miming now, but you can't see me doing it.
He calls. Pocket fives for Jake Cody. He's in. King 10 for Sorrentino.
Come on, dude, you're getting pot odds like the wind!
He folded the small blind. Pablo Gordillo with Queen 8 of diamonds in the big blind. Calls. And once again, 4 players on the main stage are going to the flop.
Everyone recheck their hands and internet players.
Well, that's top pair for Corrin. Cody and Lauch both have wheel draws. Gordillo checks.
Corrin's got a good hand, but you can't love it with all those folks in there.
He continues for 95,000.
For Lauch, I actually think this is a fold with 2 players to act behind.
He calls. Action now on Jake Cody.
Spoiler alert, Jake Cody is in a really great spot for a post-flop squeeze. And not spoiler alert, he's Jake Cody. Except for when there's pastries out, then he goes by his alter ego, Cake Jody.
He raises to 276,000. Gordillo folds. Art Corrin has the best hand. He's a 78% favorite here.
You know, it sounds like a great idea now. Not c-betting the flop.
He folds.
It was the best hand, but I don't hate the fold. Do you feel Lauchy, punk? Well, do ya?
No, he folds as well. The squeeze gets through.
Yeah, Jake, better grab those chips before everyone realizes you stole them.
He's up to nearly 2.5 million. So what do you think of Jake's power play? And his cream jumper? Tag your tweets. EPT.
River's so beautiful here.
If we keep walking up this way, we'll get to Craven Cottage.
Ooh, is that where they make the props for the Nightmare on Elm Street movies?
No, it's where Fulham Football Club plays. It's the home of the cottagers.
What's a cottager? I'm gonna look it up.
Don't!
Welcome back to the PokerStars.com European Poker Tour at the Grand Connaught Rooms, hosted by the Hippodrome Casino. We're down to 15 players, with local boy Simon Dedman the first and only casualty so far. 2 Brits remain. But it's a German who leads the way. Sebastian Pauli is still our chip leader with 3.5 million.
Casualty, Deadman, I see what you did there. But don't say anything about the Da Vinci Cody, because I was saving that for later.
Well, Jake Cody is currently second on the leaderboard behind Sebastian Pauli. Interestingly, the top 3 stacks are all at the main feature table. Blinds are still 10,000, 20,000 with a 3,000 ante.
I guess I kind of blew the whole Da Vinci Cody thing. That's kind of the whole joke.
There is Jake. Folding under the gun. Raffaele Sorrentino. Not going to play Jack 4. Gordillo's out. Pauli has 8-7 off.
Now, opening this hand is totally dependent on how tight the guys to your left are.
He raises from the cutoff, makes it 40,000.
You must think they're pretty tight.
King 10 suited for Jan Pino.
Let me tell you, this guy is going P nowhere.
Call.
He's going to play the flop in position from the button. Round to Jonas Lauch in the big blind. He folds, so heads up to the flop.
Pauli, Pino.
And Pino flops the nuts. Must be nice.
Being real interested in what your opponent's doing can sometimes be a huge tell.
Pauli with bottom pair continues for 45,000.
Will Pino raise or will he play it slow like when Clapton unplugged Layla?
He's a 97% favorite here. He just calls.
Got me on my knees.
Oh, Pauli now with trips.
That is going to look like the best card to him, which actually makes it the worst card.
He's going to fire again. 85,000.
Nope, Pino with the nice loud fake disgruntled exhale.
Once again, he just calls.
Didn't put on as much of a tailbox show as I thought he would.
OMG, Pauli Rivers quads.
Hachi Machi.
He had 3% equity on the flop.
Well, that's poker.
Runner, runner to make quad sevens, and now he checks.
Going for the old check raise.
Here comes Pino, 175,000.
I'm gonna go ahead and call this bet entourage because I don't like it and I wish I'd never seen it in the first place. Pauli was right to want a check raise here. Most people wouldn't be able to get away from an ace.
Pino has 634k behind.
I'm all in.
Pauli shoves on him.
I guess that's a fold.
Another big pot for Pauli.
Lucky at the flop.
Lucky you didn't have an ace.
A 7.
But seriously, the runner, runner, runner quads is pretty lucky.
Sebastian Pauli closing in on the 4 million mark now.
I'm Sebastian Pauli, 25 years old, Dortmund, Germany. I'm studying management economics. I'm a math guy, so it sounded pretty interesting to me. That might sound weird to some people, but yeah. I always liked playing cards with my grandma. I first started playing poker when I turned 18. I put in lots of hours playing poker, talking about poker, the psychology, math as well. Whenever I have free time, I like to play poker and think about it. Most of my poker experience has been online. I started playing live 2 years ago. It's only my 5th EPT. I'm obviously very happy to have a deep run this soon. Feels great to be in this position as chip leader, but I did not expect to win. Actually, I booked my flight for tomorrow. I thought that it's a good day to book the flight, and then if I make the final table, it's only 200 euros, so whatever.
I was gonna say going broke and then just missing your flight would be the worst, but then I remembered entourage again.
At the other table, Benny Spindler is all in.
Can I get a count, please?
Action on Jalviera.
You never really like calling it off with King Jack, but Spindler's shorter than Vern Troyer's urinal.
Isn't that low rather than short?
I don't know, something about splashing the pot.
Vieira thinking about it. He calls.
And he is dominated, like Armageddon versus Deep Impact.
Spindler a big favorite, but he is officially at risk here.
All it takes is a jack.
The flop is ace high. It's looking good for Benny.
Pretty much ensures he's gonna double up.
The turn card is a 7. Vieira now drawing dead. Benny gets the double up.
Kid is back in this.
João Vieira takes a hit, down to 754,000. Benny Spindler still with a lot of work to do, but still in with a chance of winning EPT London twice.
I'm not a towel, you're a towel.
We're heading back to the main stage, where sadly we've lost Jan Pino in 15th place, but we've gained Ognan Dimov, who's moved from the secondary table.
Ognan.
Well, we're going to sweat with Jonas Lauk here and play this hand from his perspective. Pocket kings under the gun.
What, we get to sweat with Lauky Charms over here, and we get to have kings. I am all in, not literally. Is that binding? That's not binding, is it?
Jake Cody looks interested.
Jake's under the gun +1.
He just calls. Pauli on the button. Calls as well. Dimov in the small blind. He's also calling.
Wow.
So tight.
Corrin folds the big blind. So here we go, another four-way hand at the feature table.
Jake's just flatted us under the gun +1. I'm a little worried about what he's got, and I'm a little worried we're up against 3 opponents, and I'm a little worried Batman versus Superman is gonna suck, but we don't have time for that right now.
Lauk checks the flop.
Even though there's no overcards and we probably have the best hand, I really don't mind the check at all. We're in a pretty decent spot against a pretty strong range, so we defo don't want to get raised.
Well, Jake has bet 135,000. Pauli and Dimov have both folded.
Good old Jake Cody, always good for a bet. Jake's thinking, good old bet, never fails.
Lauk calls. Heads up to the turn. The 7 of diamonds, 2 flush draws out there now.
I like to just call on the flop, see how the board texture develops.
Lauk checks a second time.
Now, if Jake bets here, I think we have the perfect opportunity to come over the top of it.
Jake makes it 247,000.
The 7's not a particularly bad card for us, and there's tons of worse made hands and draws he could be tempted to call it off with.
Lauk just calls. The river card is the 7 of hearts. It pairs the board. It puts a potential heart flush out there.
Lauk, more like yuck, gross. Now we're just gonna have to check and pray Jay checks back, like praying Jason Voorhees chooses the next cabin over. But nope, he is about to come crashing right through the door.
Jake bets 380,000. That's half of Lauk's stack.
And it's under half the pot. Now there's not much we're beating. Ace, Queen, and Queen, Jack that just got counterfeited. I think Jake's gonna have us beat here most of the time.
Lauk calls. Jake tables. The nut flush.
Ah, I saw the Ace, Queen, and I thought we were good, but no.
Jonas Lauk just lost 70% of his stack.
It's a good river.
No kings, right?
Yes, it was Kings.
I was hoping you checked back.
It's like hoping your girlfriend's not gonna ask you who texted in the middle of the night.
Jake Cody's still second in chips. He's one of 3 former champs remaining. But what does it actually mean to win an EPT?
EPT is just the creme de la creme of poker. It's just so difficult to win.
Winner of EPT the win is Jake Cody.
Winning an EPT is still my best poker memory, especially a big one as a PCA, and I had a lot of friends there to support me, so it was like an amazing memory.
EPT's been a big part of my life for 5 or 6 years now. Played over 50 EPT events, and I really wanted to be the first 2-time champion. Vicky's already done it.
When I won EPT London, that was a truly magical night.
Vicky shows 6-7, she flopped the next straight.
That proved something to me. You know, it's really not an impossible dream. You win one tournament and everybody says, yeah, she got lucky, she fluked that EPT.
Vicky Corrin has done it!
You win another one and it'll be at least a few weeks before they say that again.
If you win an EPT, you're in a pretty prestigious club straight away. I think you're going to get a lot of respect for it.
Winning an EPT is definitely a life-changing experience. It kind of gives you a taste of what being a professional poker player is really like, and they probably play poker for maybe the rest of their life.
It boosted my confidence in my poker game phenomenally. It's made me grow as a player.
If the person who won EPT London was like a new face and new to poker, the advice that I would give them is to, make sure that you're smart with your money.
I think you should appreciate it as much as possible and take time definitely to enjoy the win, because it's something super rare. I've been waiting like 6 years to win another one, so so appreciate it as much as possible and take your time, yeah.
I would probably say splurge out a little bit, but you know, just calm down. You can't win an EPT every 6 months. Or maybe you can.
Jake Cody only has to outlast 13 more players and he'll have his second title. Same with Kevin McPhee and Benny Spindler.
Well, action is on Kevin McPhee at the secondary table. And he's got queens in the small blind. He's re-raising after Vieira opened on the button with an ace. Jacks for Gino Gabriel.
260.
And he's 4-betting from the big blind.
Typically, I wouldn't love 4-betting jacks, but against a small blind who just re-raised the button.
How much?
260.
260, yeah. One reload is 260,000.
I do think Gabriel is ahead of Cowboy Face's range here, but unfortunately he doesn't have Cowboys. He has Lady Kings.
I see your stack.
They're pretty even. McPhee just has Gabriel covered.
I'm all in.
All in and a call. Gino Gabriel at risk and way behind Kevin McPhee.
Big dog.
Nice hand.
Gabriel's really gonna need to shock the monkey here.
Gino Gabriel came 12th at EPT 6 Villamora. He's set to bust in 14th place here.
That's brutal.
No diamond. No wood.
Just 2 outs.
Good luck, man.
Nah, he really doesn't need it.
Gino Gabriel's going out unless there's a jack on the river. Oh, Gino.
Good luck. I get this one. Nice hand, Kevin.
Yeah, sit cold deck,
I
man,
didn't
really.
think so.
Yeah, I'll do the same in your spot.
Yeah.
Nice playing with you, bro.
Take care.
Make that only 12 players to outlast for a second title, as Cowboy Face puts another one out to pasture.
So this is the church from The Omen.
Oh, I love Liev Schreiber.
No, not the Omen remake. As far as I'm concerned, that movie doesn't even exist. A bit like the Psycho remake.
What? I got 2 words for you, pal. Vince Vaughn. That is the most money that Norman Bates has ever been. If only they could have put Owen Wilson in it. Ah, in a perfect world.
You are dead to me.
We're at the halfway stage on day 5 of the PokerStars.com European Poker Tour in London. During the break, we lost João Vieira, leaving 12 players fighting it out for the illustrious trophy. Some players have been running hot today, and it could be said that it's not just because of the cards.
I'm not really one of believing in superstitions or anything like that. I brought the hat with me. I enjoy wearing it. I enjoy getting reactions out of people at the table.
Basically in the morning, I'll go to Starbucks, I'll order the same thing. I'm a little bit superstitious with that kind of thing. I like to not change it too much.
I only started wearing it on day 3. The decision to bring out the hat was because I won a tournament in Dublin. I said, I'll stick the hat on and see can I get myself through the bubble.
Me and Fatima have been going to this Greek place after each day because it's kind of like a ritual now. She unfortunately busted yesterday. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to go there, I'm going to change it up. So I went somewhere else.
Obviously, luck is a big factor, but I think it's overrated. Just a coincidence that I'm wearing this t-shirt today. I like to wear funny t-shirts, that's all.
Doesn't that hat look like its favorite food would be jelly beans? Jelly beans and orange soda.
Well, Kevin Killeen has called an under-the-gun raise from Jakub Marocek. It's Queen 10 against Jack 9. And Killeen flops trips. The hat is working.
Easy game.
Marocek, who's won a side event on the EPT, does not continue.
Oh, I love side events. What was it, coleslaw, macaroni and cheese?
Killeen, value bets, 65,000.
And the game's about to get even easier if Marocek decides to float this flop. Oh, yeah.
He calls. The turn card is a 6. Marocek is now drawing dead.
Oh, and this float here is more ill-timed than going for sushi on a Sunday.
He bets 125,000.
Sweet card shuffling, dude.
Colleen calls. 569,000 in the middle. The river card. A queen. Marocek now with a pair, but it's no good.
Gross.
Oh, he's betting again. 5 yellow chips, 125,000.
Looks like a little blocker bet. I think he thinks maybe he got there, but no.
Kevin Killeen is raising. That's a total of 345,000.
Well spotted by Killeen.
So how does Marocek respond?
I really think he should fold here. But it can be pretty easy to convince yourself you're getting bluffed by the guy in the purple monster hat. Jelly beans.
He calls. Ship it to the Irishman.
And call this man the Devil's Rejects because he does not get away. He did not Moreau-check himself before he Moreau-wrecked himself.
Day 5 going well for Kevin Killeen. He has pretty much doubled his stack from the start of the day. Well, Killeen is currently 6th in chips with 1.7 million. There are 2 former champs in the top 5, Cody and McPhee, and Sebastian Pauli still leads with a stack of 4 million. 12 players remain as we continue to play down to the final table. So Jonas Lauk has been moved to the secondary table as we keep both tables balanced. Action at the main stage, folded around to Jake Cody.
Ace-queen for Quody.
He raises to 65,000. Sorrentino folds. Pablo Gordillo has pocket 5s in the small blind. He calls. Sebastian Pauli folds the big. We're going heads up to the flop. Well, that's a gut shot for Jake Cody. Gordillo's 5s are still good. He checks. And Jake checks behind.
No C-bet. Huh.
A 7 on the turn. Gordillo still ahead.
5 still good, but for how long?
He leads for 65k.
Gordillo wondering the same thing as he puts this spout out there for a little protection.
Jake has 23% equity. Aces, queens, and jacks all working for him. He calls.
And sometimes ace-queen will be the best hand.
The river is a 6. That's a brick for Cody. Gordillo doesn't bet again.
In a different dynamic, Jake may have bet the flop and then 1 or more streets, but in general, the small blind's cold calling range pre-flop is a little stronger, so he might just give this up here. No!
Jake's gonna bluff. Question is how much? 314,000 in the pot. Jake bets 166,000.
I think this works a fair amount. In the long run, he's gonna get more folds than calls here.
Is Gordillo gonna see this bet for what it is? He calls Jake's bluff.
Nice call, Pablo. Thin. Wafer thin.
Gordillo takes 300k off Jake Cody. A near average stack now for the player who recently accomplished an amazing hat trick online.
Vivimos 3 compañeros de 3 amigos en casa y todos jugamos al póker. Bueno, ese domingo empezamos como todos los domingos. Nos levantamos pronto para coger el kickoff y algún torneo que empieza pronto que nos gustan mucho. Me acabé ganando el kickoff y luego pues cayó el Storm. No es fácil, pero tampoco la fase final cuando quedaba poca gente tampoco era muy difícil. Y luego acabo cuadrando también el Big 55, que pues es súper difícil. Me acaba de decir un En el primer torneo levanté como 26K, me parece, que fue el único que pacté. Y luego entre los otros dos fueron unos 30 y 40, no sé, en total fueron 102K, me parece, algo así. Esa noche estábamos muy cansados, estuve jugando como 18 horas y esa noche ya no hicimos nada. Y al día siguiente ya salimos, fuimos a cenar por ahí con los amigos estamos viviendo en Londres, entonces ya fuimos a cenar por ahí y salimos de fiesta un rato pues, a celebrarlo. Un chico ahí en la sala del EPT que pasa una vez de cada 30 millones o algo así, me ha dicho en plan, te ha tocado, es como si te hubiera tocado 2 veces la lotería, no sé, ha sido gracioso.
The house he lives in with the other Spanish poker players, they call it the Glory House. And I'm just gonna let that hang there.
At the secondary table, Jonas Lauk has limped the button with ace-king. Benny Spindler with queen-jack in the small blind.
Limping the button, that tricky little bleep.
Spindler shoves.
Call.
And gets called.
Easy call.
Now Spindler has Lauk covered. Jonas is the player at risk here, but he's a 2-1 favorite over Spindler.
It was a trap!
The flop. Gives Benny a flush draw.
Oh man, that is not what Ace-King of Hearts wants to see.
Benny's got 14 outs.
He's only supposed to have 6.
Lauk still has to fade. A queen, jack or diamond on the river to survive. It's a diamond!
And a jack.
Okay. Good luck, guys.
Jonas Lauk out in 12th.
Nice one, Benny. Lauk not be a lady. He is not up all night to get Lauky. If it wasn't for bad Lauk, he would have no Lauk
just
at all.
stop.
Okay.
Great comeback by Spindler, by the way. Started the day with around 10 big blinds. Now he's playing 35 big blinds. You could join us on the European Poker Tour. You can qualify for an EPT main event at PokerStars.com.
The Omen. A movie that did for kids named Damien what Jaws did for sharks.
Made people unnecessarily afraid of them.
No, man. Put them on the map. Check this out. Joe's just a stage name.
Damien Jaws Stapleton. Your parents named you after the spawn of Satan in The Omen.
Yep.
Story checks out.
Thank you.
We're down to 10 at the PokerStars.com EPT in London with Ognian Dimov eliminated in 11th. Sebastian Pauli still leads and there are still 3 former champs in the field. Let's pick up the action here. Jonathan Benzadoun has raised, called by Kevin McPhee and by Benny Spindler. Action now on Jakub Mrocek in the big blind. And he calls as well.
Still not Mrocek-ing himself. What gives, dude?
4-way to the flop. And it's top pair for Spindler and McPhee.
It looks like it's going to come down to the 2 former champs in this hand.
Benny leads, 105,000.
Donk leads it. Interesting. Good way to find out who's got an ace.
Mrocek and Benzadoun have both folded. McPhee calls. And I think this is the first time today we've seen a battle of former champs.
Yeah, it is.
7 on the turn, doesn't change anything. Benny slows down, he checks.
Kevin could bet here.
No, he checks as well.
Goes for a little deception and pot control against a tricky opponent.
5 on the river, so Kevin's 10 kicker plays. And he checks again.
And now would be a great spot for Kevin to get a bet in. He is one intimidating dude.
490,000 in the pot. McPhee going for value, 160k. And Benny calls.
Can't really blame him. Really well played by Kevin McPhee.
He's up to 2.6 million. Well, Kevin won €1 million in Berlin 4 years ago. Now he's aiming for his 3rd EPT final table and his 2nd main event trophy.
What do you think he's staring at over there? He's like a dog looking out the window. You think it's a squirrel?
Back at the main feature table. Jake Cody also dreaming of the double. He's raising under the gun with threes. Raffaele Sorrentino has queens.
I think given stack sizes, you should be 3-betting here.
Sorrentino just calls.
Ah, it's like talking openly about your house party at the office. It invites way too many lames to come along for the ride.
Sebastian Pauli, the chip leader, with ace-9 in the small blind.
Specifically the blinds.
He calls.
65.
Art Corrin also has ace-9. Looks like he's calling from the big blind. This is another 4-way pot.
Well, the aces are blocking some of the outs against queens, so this might not go so badly for Rafael.
Wow, top set for Sorrentino. Nut flush draw for Pauli. He checks. Corrin checks. No c-bet from Jake.
A lot of folks are going to be tempted to check their sets, but no, don't. Just don't. Raffaele, cool but crude.
He bets 145,000.
Sebastian Pauli is a party dude. He's got the perfect semi-bluff raising hand, should he so choose.
Looks like he does choose. He raises to 400,000. Corrin and Cody fold.
All in.
Sorrentino shoves. And Pauli calls. Sorrentino, a 3-1 favorite to double up. Just has to fade a spade. 8 cards in the deck he doesn't want to see on the river.
Pauli hoping to keep riding that hot streak.
It's a spade! Pauli just can't lose a hand!
Now that is pretty brutal, but I would like to add that if he had 3-bet pre-flop, you know what, I'm not going to say it. Okay, I have to say it. If he had 3-bet pre-flop, Pauli doesn't play the hand. I'm sorry, but it's out there now.
We are down to 9. We're down to 1 table as Raffaele Sorrentino exits in 10th. His first ever EPT cash.
Hey, that's great.
So it's redraw time. The unofficial 9-handed final table.
There is only one stack bigger than Jake's, and he does not want that stack on his immediate left. In general, Jake's gonna have to get pretty unlucky to get a bad seat draw, but hey, that's what dads do, they worry. That's right, everybody up to the big kids table.
And remember, this will become the official final table when we are down to 8. And that's when play will conclude today. So we still have 3 former EPT champs, but Spindler is the short stack with 14 big blinds. Sebastian Pauli, the commanding chip leader, with a stack of more than 5.7 million. And here's what they're playing for. They've locked up at least 41,000, 6-figure scores for the top 6, with the better part of $500,000 for the eventual winner.
Still haven't made it an even 5-ball for first, huh? I'm gonna take up a collection.
Lines up to 20-40. Action folded. To Pauli. He mucks. Jakub Marocek has king-queen suited.
Seems fairly obvious.
All in.
He shoves.
Yep.
They can, please.
Jake Cody's asked for a count because he's got 9s.
The last thing Jake wants is to be giving away chips in a courtesy double-up, but he is definitely ahead of Marocek's shoving range.
So, does Jake just call, or does he reshove? He calls. McPhee folds the button. Corrin and Colleen fold the blinds. It's a race.
It's a race for the final table bubble. Let's hope this guy has finally Marocek'd himself.
Jake's the marginal favorite. Marocek needs to hit to survive. Marocek flops top pair, but it's a gut shot for Jake Cody.
Jake's got 6 outs instead of the usual 2.
Marocek will double up unless there's a jack or a 9 on the river. It's an ace. A big double up at a big moment in the tournament. A frustrating flip for Jake to lose.
Moreau check, 1-2, 1-2.
Cody is now 5th on the leaderboard after being 2nd in chips for most of the day.
That is really gonna leave a mark. It puts him in a way worse position should he make the final table.
Chip leader Sebastian Pauli first to speak. He folds under the gun. Rot checks out. Ben Zadoun has passed. Queen 10 for Jake. He folds, as does McPhee. Art Corrin in the cutoff has 8-7 suited.
That's gonna look pretty tasty in the cutoff with players behind you who probably don't want to get it in light on the final table bubble.
He raises to 80k. Kevin Killeen has got kings on the button.
Usually when he wakes up with a monster, it's because he went to sleep with his hat on.
How's he gonna play it?
We're gonna see a 3-bet here most of the time. A non-all-in 3-bet.
A re-raise to 190,000. Pablo Gordillo in the small blind. Folds. Benny Spindler in the big blind. Has ace-king.
Oh no, Benny. I have not seen a deck this cold since EPT Antarctica.
Spindler is all in. He has been called by Killeen. And we're on the verge of losing one of our 3 former champs. Killeen is a 68% favorite.
Things are not looking good for this kid to be a 2-timer in London.
King's still ahead. Benny looking for an ace or running cards to make a straight or flush.
He's still got 22% equity.
That takes away the backdoor draws. 3 outs for Spindler. He needs an ace on the river. It's another 7. Spindler bubbles the final table.
Good game.
And day 5 is done.
How'd you have kings there?
Sick, innit?
Still a great result for Benny when you consider he was short stacked coming into play today.
Pablo Gordillo makes the final ocho.
Yes, we have our official final table.
Not only did they make it, but one of their toughest opponents has been knocked out of the fray as well.
But Jake's still alive, competing for his 2nd EPT title, as is Kevin McPhee.
Kevin McPhee smiled, you owe me $1.
But the favorite coming into the 6th and final day of the EPT London main event is Sebastian Pauli from Germany. He has a huge chip lead, 6.1 million. Behind him are the 2 Kevins, Killeen and McPhee, with Jake Cody 6th on the leaderboard, with just below the tournament average.
Tomorrow, it's going to be the same old every day. I'll just wake up, have a shower, go to the Starbucks, get the same coffee I get every day, come down, and come and win.
Next time, EPT London reaches its finale, with 2 former champs still in the hunt for their 2nd trophy.
I know I've won before, but this is huge. This is the EPT title. This is the best thing you can win in tournament poker. I'm very serious.
I don't think I've taken any time in any decision.
Guy's pissed.
Glad I didn't celebrate at least.
Jeez.